good morning. Welcome back to the Dark Souls livestream series. I'm recording again. I don't know, I really should know. When was I recording the previous part? May have been a day or so ago. I think it was on the weekend actually, so I don't know. I'm not really keeping track. The days are all blending into one. My mind is turning to mush. Mush? I don't even know if I want to say mush or mush at this point. Sorry, I've just been a little bit overworked recently. On various things. On various fronts. But I'm here in Dark Souls apparently experiencing some sort of respite. You know, playing a game that typically abuses people. This is going to be my respite, apparently. Alright. So, I've been quite negligent in checking what level of endurance I would need with this build in order to fast roll. I've obviously completely misremembered the percentages for fast rolling. I would need, you know, between 60 and 70 endurance in order to be able to fast roll with this build, depending on what weapons I had equipped, what shields I had equipped, but, you know, strictly speaking, if I want to fast roll with the Thorn armor set, I'm going to need a lot of endurance, and I think you can see based on my current stats that it's just not going to be viable for me to sacrifice vitality for that long. Like, how could I possibly countenance that? So what I'm going to do is quit while I'm ahead and not attempt to fast roll with this build. I think the only way that I can describe it is that I was not reading the weight of the armor set before making that decision. I was not looking at the percentages for, you know, fast rolling. It was laziness that caused it. So what I'm going to do is hold off on endurance for the foreseeable future. My new game run simply doesn't require it. I probably won't be increasing endurance until I'm in New Game Plus or New Game Plus 2. Because I have some dexterity to increase, I will take it to 45, possibly 50. 50 is where I really cap it out. Like, I don't go beyond 50 usually, unless... No, that's probably not true. I do take it to 60 sometimes. But 60 is usually New Game Plus and above. But yeah, I'll definitely go for... Just give it a rest. I want to go to the live stream, please. The live stream. Thank you. Alright, let me just make sure... Well, actually, I can't really make sure if I missed a message or not, because I don't have the chat open anywhere else right now, but for anyone who said hello, hi, I missed your message, but I'm now able to read what you have to say. Alright, so... What is the situation? This is something that I need to mention as well. My desire to play this game has actually ended up preempting my offline farming sessions. You will recall in the previous recording I was actually discussing doing most of my farming offline. At the moment that is Twinkling Titan Knight for the armor set upgrades and the Dark Wraith farming for Titan Knight chunks for the shuttle. I have not done any of that, so I'm going to do a little bit of that in this recording, but not enough for it to be overly monotonous. And also, before you start to fret, I'm going to do something more interesting to start off with. I'm not going to thrust you all, at the very beginning of the recording, into a situation where I'm just grinding monsters, mobs, enemies. It's not happening. I'm going to take on the DLC. And... yeah, it's... I'm probably not going to go to the next boss, you know, Artorias. I'm probably just going to... Actually, I'll go from here. I will just do the Guardian... Is it... I think it's just the Guardian, isn't it? Does it have another word added to its title or its name? I really don't know, I don't remember. I remember that it drops the Guardian Soul, so... Excuse me. Ooh, goodness gracious. The carbonation of beer, really. But yes, we're going to call it the Guardian, and whether it has more to its name or not is immaterial, because you know to whom I'm referring, as far as bosses are concerned. I wonder if I want Poison Cloud for anything. I was just going through the pyromancies in my head and wondering what pyromancies I could possibly want to add. And so, well, Toxic Cloud is an option as well. I really don't... I think I may have acknowledged this, not in the previous part, but in the part before. But I think that I don't have anywhere to get pyromancies anymore, so I can indeed pick up pyromancies that are drops, you know, pickups that are around the world. But as far as purchasing pyromancies, I believe I have been, from here on out, prevented from purchasing any pyromancies because I've killed one of my vendors, Quaylana, and I believe the Great Swamp Guy is now gone. So there you have it. I may have to wait until New Game Plus to get things like Toxic Cloud or Poison Cloud. I could always have a look to see where I get it, but for now, it's a no-go. Not gonna work. What I'm going to do is get to this bonfire, and then I'm going to see where Toxic Cloud can be acquired. And possibly between now and that moment, I'm going to consider scenarios where I would actually want to use Toxic Cloud. It's not something that I use very much. It can be used to give you an edge over some enemies, and I don't really know how effective it is against bosses, but I suppose it couldn't hurt to give it a try. Well, actually, I can stay here because I'm gonna... I was alt-tabbing out briefly, but then I realized that I didn't need to do that. God, the time just goes, doesn't it? I was meant to start this live stream at 9 o'clock. It's now 9:30 and I've only just begun. Oh, the time. Where do you go? I just really fucking hate it when it's the Twitch app. In fact, you know what? I'm going to stop myself right there because it feels like every single time I record this game, well, not just this game, sorry. Anytime I go live, I just complain about the Twitch app. Not literally every time, but it's a pretty common occurrence. Dark Souls... Toxic Cloud? Is that what it's called? Toxic Mist, excuse me. Excuse me. It is... Oh. I see. I need to get an egg and give it to the creepy guy with the egg sack on his back at the front of the Daughter of Chaos bonfire. Or for it to become available for purchase. Purchase from whom? From the spider? This is where I get confused. I thought the spider was Quaylana, but apparently the woman with the... whatever that's called, the gold-hemmed set, is also Quaylana. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to the story and don't particularly care for the story. He said it. Oh, he said it. He doesn't care for the story. What a truly disgusting comment to make. I'm trying to remember where to get an egg. Because I know that you can end up with an egg growing on you, but is that separate to acquiring an item that is an egg? It's been so long since I've engaged with that covenant that I genuinely don't remember how to actually give this guy eggs. Alright, let's find out. I reckon we'll find out almost immediately. Oh, that's a lovely image of that guy. Anyway, Quaylag's sister. Quaylag's sister. Is this person just called Quaylag's sister? Have I been misremembering this person as Quaylana this whole time? Okay, I think it's just Quaylag's sister. I'm pretty sure Quaylana is just the person in the gold-hemmed set. Is that right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Apparently you can actually speak to him to get pyromancies. That's good information. Okay, you do have to be infested with the egghead in order for him to sell you pyromancies. That's the idea. So he becomes a pyromancy vendor. This is... fucking hell. I see. After you have cured your first egghead, Angie, I don't know how to say his name, will give you egg vermifuge for free every time you get infected with a new one, which is good. Okay. So I can go and get myself some egghead, but do you know what I'll do? I'll kill the Guardian first. That sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, AJ is telling me to become an egghead. I just wanted to confirm that it wasn't a case of the egg being an actual item, if that makes sense. I wasn't sure if there was something apart from egghead. But there is nothing apart from egghead. I think it might have been egg vermifuge that I was thinking about, which obviously cures your eggheadedness. Fucking eggheads, man. I've got no tolerance for eggheads. I don't know about you guys. I can't stand them. I'm just generally distrusting of eggheads. Alright, so it is Sanctuary Guardian. So that is the full name. Oops, I have been poisoned. How the hell did you miss me there? I was, the reason why I wasn't actually engaging with the fight at all is because I was changing my monitor volume. It's a bit too loud. Eggheads have a gross kick animation. Yeah, I don't remember it. Oh, fuck off. You are being slightly annoying. What it is about this boss is that I'm typically quite mobile when fighting it. I'm not that mobile at the moment. Of course, you can cut this tail in order to get a whip. It's an interesting whip. I don't know if it's all that good. I haven't used it very much. I don't really use the whips. I will definitely do a whip build. You can be assured of that. Oh, my weapon is actually doing about the same amount of damage as my great fireballs. Not exactly the same, but it's almost the same. If I went two-handed with this thing, that would be immense. You can see that I'm not really well prepared for this fight. I've got shitty mobility. And, almost no Estus. Well, at the moment I've got 0, which is problematic. That's also problematic, completely missing when you've had your opportunity to hit the boss. Yeah, even my advance forward wasn't good enough to deal with that. I need to make sure that I don't have or that I don't require a second attempt. Do you know what? Let's try this again. That was just not good enough, is what I would say about that. Just not good enough. So, oh, it doesn't help that I'm using the Rusted Iron Ring. That is putting me at a disadvantage, and it's definitely not the first time that I've fought the Sanctuary Guardian with the Rusted Iron Ring. I would actually guess, without knowing for certain, that approximately 80% of my confrontations with the Sanctuary Guardian take place with the Rusted Iron Ring equipped. That's what I think. Alright, so what can I do? I almost never, actually, take on the Sanctuary Guardian with only 5 Estus. I usually kindle this bonfire. I don't really want to imagine fighting 2 of them. That would be terrible, because I would say that this is quite an aggressive boss. Keeps on your position quite effectively. Alright, going into these various screens just to make sure that I'm not going to get stuck at the bonfire. Very good. I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was thinking that it was actually unhelpful to go into all of those different screens, I ended up going into maybe only 2 instead of 3, and I got stuck at the bonfire. So I think it is necessary for me to go into about 3 different screens in order to prevent being stuck at that bonfire. Again, for those who are not aware, it is a glitch in this particular version. I don't know if it's just my strange version of DS fix. Maybe it's something I could resolve. In other words, it might not just be an inevitability of playing the original PC version. It may be to do with my setup. Whoop. You fucked me over again with your poison. Irritating fucking... Whoop. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, that was... okay. So I really should have just kept my shield raised there. Or rolled at a better time. What ended up happening was I rolled too soon and then he just tracked me. He tracked me to my position after I'd concluded my roll, and there wasn't really much that I could do. I'm tempted to just take off some armor pieces for mobility. Oh, for fuck's sake. Shall we just do it? We'll give this a try. We'll give this a try. I need to make sure that I get my bloodstain, or touch my bloodstain, because I've got 10 humanity on that thing. What the hell was that? Wasn't really expecting an attack like that. I do have pyromancy, but as we've established, it's not that much stronger than my actual weapons, so I think I should be focusing on weapon damage right now. I'm rolling into him with my armor. It's so strong, so helpful. Wonder if I can get, whatever it's called, bleed off. Think I can do it? Probably not. I think I've lost my opportunity. Ooh. Rolled at the wrong time. In other words, too late. Okay. Congratulations. Thought I was going to get killed by some lightning after the fact. I don't know. Didn't mean to do the jump there. That's one of the downsides to double tapping circle to jump. Sometimes if you get a little bit too overexcited, again, perfect example of what I mean. Sometimes if you get a little bit too overexcited with your circle button, you will accidentally jump when you didn't intend to do that. You're bringing me right down to the wire, man. Come on. I can die. Good night. Fuckwit. Some bosses really just need a bit of mobility. And just to be very clear, my performance in that attempt was also horrific. But anyway, we will try not to make comments on my performance as I play through this game. I'm just making do, that's all I can tell you. I'm keeping the shuttle equipped, that's it. It is attached to my person. It's not going anywhere. But I think the spirit of what you're trying to say should be recognized, and it is that I should not have been in a situation where I needed to remove things for the sake of my weight. I should not have been keeping a shuttle equipped, you know. I'm sure the shuttle weighs about the same as... oh, probably not. It's probably lighter than my gauntlets. Okay, 2.5. Okay, yeah, it's considerably lighter. So in my defense, I probably wouldn't have benefited that much from unequipping the shuttle, but I should have tried. You're right, I should have tried. But, yeah, the shuttle is my baby. I don't know why, because I'm not really using it. But, you know, it's there. It's like my, my emotional support weapon. It's just there. It doesn't even need to do anything. The fact that it's there is all that I need. When you said it's because of 60 FPS, what were you referring to at that time? Sorry. Sometimes I look back through the chat and when a reaction is made to something that I said, I just don't remember what I said to prompt said reaction, so... Let's say said a few more times, shall we? Alright, let's go and get the egghead. It's been a while since I've been egg-headed. Nothing wrong with a... I don't know. A return to an old experience? Oh, I see. Okay, so getting stuck at the bonfire is caused by 60 FPS. Well, I'm sure you can appreciate that I'm not going to be removing 60 FPS for something like that. I'm pretty surprised at how good the game runs at 60 FPS, like I don't really encounter many issues. That is the only issue that I've experienced. I'm pretty familiar with how the game runs at 30 FPS, to put it lightly. Excuse me. I want an egg. Whoa! Scary shit. Is it better if I kill him and then let the things... Yeah, I'll let the things come out. Alright. The things. Whatever they are. Egg me. I'm doing this right, aren't I? No, actually, I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I needed the attack that I evaded just out of habit. I was in danger, so I evaded it. I don't think these things can egg me, can they? Can you egg me? I'm going to assume that it's the attack that I evaded. That thing. See that? I reckon that's it. No? Get grabbed by the egg guy. Alright, grab me, come on. I'm telling you, the last time I allowed this to happen was some time ago. I don't remember precisely. Alright. Let's see what happens first. Either I die, or I find out how to get the egghead. Egghead. Let him grab you to be infected. What if, ladies and gentlemen, what if, just as I was talking about there being no other downside to 60 FPS, this is being caused by 60 FPS? Because he's doing the grab animation on me. Oh, he finally did it. He finally did it. How did it take that long? I thought that perhaps he was doing the grab animation and it just wasn't doing what it was supposed to. Okay, I got grabbed. Very good news. Alright. Goodbye, worm creatures. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so now that that animation has taken place, am I going to see like a head scratching animation? Alright, so, your character will start scratching their head as an idle animation if the infection was successful. It then hatches after about 5 minutes. I don't think it was successful. But you saw, there was like I was almost impaled by that thing. Is that separate? Fuck me. This is... I'm not scratching my head. This is a bit unusual. Yeah, so... when we describe getting grabbed, I'm seeing this guy reaching out his arms and doing this, but I'm not getting grabbed from that, but something did grab me. I was subjected to an animation of some kind just before. So, that seemed pretty successful. I do not suspect that I've got a resistance to egghead. So, get over here. Maybe these guys aren't good at giving me egghead. There you go. Come on, that had better give me egghead at that point. Itchy. Maybe it's because I was... like, he was on an incline above me. And maybe he wasn't able to do the grab animation in that spot. Alright. This should have done it. Should I get you to do it again? Yeah, that must have been what it was. I'm just gonna let you, egg me a lot. Oh, there we go, it worked. There we go. How strange is that? Either that or... it had already worked before and I didn't need to do it an extra 2 times. But anyway, I'm scratching my head now. That's good news. Now I'll just have to hang around and wait until I get an egg growing on my head. That is so gross, isn't it? Yeah, I do wonder what the delay was about. This procedure has left us scratching our heads, yeah. I don't really understand why it failed the first time. It looked like it did, didn't it? Because it shouldn't take me that long to start scratching my head. So... anyway. I just find the idea of that really disgusting. For those who don't know what the egghead actually looks like, it's not dissimilar to what's going on with this guy up here. It's a truly unpleasant deformity of the body. And as it's growing on us, we're like scratching our heads. Ugh. This is not for the faint of stomach. It's pretty bad. So yeah, it takes about 5 minutes for this to happen. As you can imagine, I'm not going to take on the Tomb of the Giants with an egghead. I mean, I suppose I could, but I don't really want to. I don't think that the idle animation is disruptive. I think it's called an idle animation because it only happens when... whoa! It only happens when you stop and you're not doing anything. So I suppose I could take on the Tomb of the Giants, but... alright, so this is important. AJ has been mentioning a special kick animation for when I get the egghead. This is something that we definitely want to explore. Apparently it's gross. I don't remember it at all. So just to remind people who are not... oh, here we go. Yeah. Egghead. To remind people of why I'm getting the egghead, I'm doing this to access some pyromancies. And to be honest, if this guy sells pyromancies, I may as well just buy all the ones that he gives me. Special kick animation? You sure? How do I perform it? Oh, apparently the animation... yeah, well, I've emptied the weapon slot, still not really working. Wonder what that's about. Well, there is apparently a special kicking animation, but... at this time, I can't replicate it. Alright, AJ's gonna do some serious research. It's alright. I will keep the egghead. It seems that I can remove my egghead whenever I wish. Yeah, I thought it would remove the helmet. That's why I was thinking it would be disadvantageous to take on the Tomb of the Giants with an egghead, because I would be suffering a demerit as a result. But that's fine. Hello.
You're just like me.
I'm not just like you.
Your head looks awful. Why not try this? I've no...
Alright, he's giving me an egg vermifuge. What is it that I need? I need some toxic mist. I'll get poison mist as well. Pretty expensive pyromancies, actually. Servant roster, online play item, check servants of the Daughters of Chaos. It's funny, I haven't even heard people in the community, and this is probably just because I suck or something, but I've never heard people in the community use that name. Aingi. Aingi? Aingi? There's probably a million ways to say that name, but I don't know. Aingi praises those who offer significant humanity to alleviate his master's suffering. But what is praise from Aingi really worth? Exactly. That's the point. Alright, so I've got an egg vermifuge, that's fine. What really grosses me out is that it's got hair on it. Looks like an acorn that's got hair on it. Alright, what's happening, AJ? What's the verdict on the kicking animation? This guy can modify equipment. In what way? Oh, he's just a... Oh, I see. You can upgrade Pyromancy Flame with it. That's excellent. With it? Yeah, he is an it, just about. Oh. Okay, so the egg head will grow to another level. And then you get the special animation if you let it grow more. Okay. I suppose I could do that. Alright. For the sake of the special animation, how about we let it grow some more? I've got egg vermifuge, it's not the end of the world. I don't think I'm going to be using that Guardian Soul for anything, so I might go and consume that now. What do I get out of that? Oh, it's only 12,000 souls, that's almost nothing. Okay, that's a bit of a waste. Well, I'm not going to be able to just right here, right now, acquire the souls that I need to upgrade my Pyromancy Flame to plus 15, which is a shame. I believe it caps out at plus 15. You are able to make the Ascended Pyromancy Flame, but based on previous research that I've done, there's no real point making the Ascended Flame. Or maybe there is. Should I make the Ascended Flame? I think it's better in certain ways, or perhaps for... Maybe it's better for chaos stuff? I'm not sure. I might need to check that now, because... I don't know what it is, I'm doing a really bad job of retaining information about this game right now. I think I've been returning to other games, and I've been filling my head with information that I'd forgotten about those games. Like the Elder Scrolls series, I've been playing so much Elder Scrolls in my own time recently, and I think it's kicked out some of the information that I had absorbed about Dark Souls. Alright. Ascended. Pyromancy Flame. Does this search even work? What the fuck is going on? I wish you could see how broken this webpage is right now. This is incredible. Browsing the web on a flip phone was better than this. Okay. So, I suppose we're going to be comparing the magic adjust. So yeah, the scaling looks better, but the scaling is not relevant at all. Are you giving me a magical adjust amount? What? Alright. Pyromancy Flame upgraded, they're calling it. You gonna tell me which ones, like what the stats are? Fuck it, I'm not gonna make it right now. It's not happening. Nope. The egg needs to consume 100,000 souls. Apparently it leeches off of you. The egg steals half of your souls whenever you gain them. But the special animation does so much stagger damage it can stagger Black Knights. Well, I have a distinct feeling that no matter how good this special animation is, it's not worth sacrificing 100,000 of my souls while I'm in New Game. So I'm going to save that kind of experiment and that kind of journey for perhaps New Game Plus 2 or something like that. You know, a point where, maybe even New Game Plus 3, a point where I'm going to have a surplus of souls that I'm really not putting... No, I'm never going to have a surplus of souls. As I continue through my build, I'm going to need more and more souls for each level up. So I don't think I'm going to want to divert souls to that cause at any point. But anyway. It is obscure. It is obscure. Anyway. I'm tempted to say it's not a thing I've forgotten about. I think it's something I never knew. Anyway. Let's get rid of this egghead. It's just not required. There you go. Breaks away like an eggshell. Alright. So we've killed the... Do you know what? I think we should try our hand at the Artorias boss. I'm just in the mood. I want to give him a try. If he's giving me trouble, I'll come back to him a little bit later. Not much later, to be honest, because I don't have many more things to do in the game, but yeah, I'm going to give Artorias a try. If he's giving me trouble, what I'll do is I've got the... Have I got the right? Whatever it's called? The sacred right? I can't remember what it's called. I have not killed Pinwheel. I can't believe it. Do my eyes deceive me? I haven't killed Pinwheel in this build. That's really quite shocking. Alright, it just means that I can't kindle this bonfire to 20 Estus flasks. I've got this weird thing with Artorias that I don't fight him unless I've got 20 Estus flasks. I probably don't need them, but I've just... Something in my head has been augmented such that I feel like I can't perform against him unless I've got 20 Estus flasks. So that'll be a challenge for me in the future, perhaps. Learning to fight Artorias without healing a shitload. Let's go and... Or perhaps we could try with 15. Or no, I can't go above 10 without the right. So let's... let's do Pinwheel. Bloody hell. This is something that I generally do in the early game these days. Because Pinwheel is very easy to kill. I've got 12 humanity in my counter now. Now, for the Tomb of the Giants, I tend to get the Sunlight Maggot these days. I don't really bother with the Skull Lantern. The Skull Lantern is not really worth it. The reason why is because, A, you have to try and get it. So you either get it from the necromancers in the catacombs, or you get it for free by intentionally falling where Patches the Hyena is in the Tomb of the Giants. But the problem with that is that you actually have to have it in your left hand, and you have to have it raised as you would a shield in order for it to produce any reasonable amount of light. I find that slightly annoying, particularly in a situation where you can get the Sunlight Maggot and just have it as a passive effect, like a passive light-producing item that just sits on your head. So yeah, I'm definitely an advocate for the Sunlight Maggot. I'm an advocate for its use. Can you go away, sir? I needn't brook your disruptive behavior. I'm becoming increasingly aware of how unacceptable my amount of health is for this part of the game. I feel like I'm using a glass cannon build or something like that, but it has to be said that this is not a glass cannon. This is just a glass warrior. Alright, I'm just coaxing these things into exploding because otherwise I'm going to be struggling greatly. Alright. Large soul of a nameless soldier, which will not be very beneficial to me. Alright, bone wheels. I'll let you do whatever you're doing. Oh, okay, you can do that. It's a bit like fighting Uragan, really. Yeah, I've got a really good stamina bar right now, but for a build like this, I'm really not in need of this much stamina. Oh, Pinwheel will be fine. Thank you for the good luck, though. I'm sure I'll be okay. I've just got a feeling. Oh, goodness. That was... worked up a sweat there. Rite of kindling. I couldn't remember what it was called. I think I was calling it Secret Rite. I don't know. It sounds like something Freemasonic. I've got no idea. I don't want the Mask of the Father. I was, believe it or not, I was really hoping for the Mask of the Mother. That's what I was really hoping for. But, that's alright. You never get the mask that you want. You never get the mask that you want. The best ones, well, honestly, the best ones are the child and the father, in that order, and then the mother is the worst one, but I've got kind of shitty health. Well, I don't think I would actually use the Mask of the Mother in place of this, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. Okay, we've got the right, but what I'm going to do, it's a slightly risky enterprise given that it's been some time, but I might progress through here and try to get the bonfire. So the problem with this is that I used to... Holy shit. Just to put it in context, there was a time when I was familiar enough with the Tomb of the Giants where I would just run through it in the dark. I would literally run through it in the dark without doing anything. I wouldn't produce light, I wouldn't do anything, I'd just run through it in the dark. That's how familiar I was with this game. Times have changed, we'll put it that way. Let me go to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire. I'm going to go and get a sunlight maggot. Went to the wrong sparkly stone. There were a lot of things that went wrong in that situation. I have a bloodstain with 32,000 souls on it. That's not a huge amount, but it's something I don't really want to lose at this stage. So what I'm going to do is go back there, get the bloodstain, go to the bonfire, and then, I don't know, fight Artorias? I don't know why I'm going back and forth in this way, but perhaps it makes it more entertaining. It does feel weird to be mid-rolling with a dexterity build, but fine. That's the way it's going to be. I have to go the long-ass way, don't I? This is my fault for not opening this shortcut when I was going through Lost Isleth the first time. This is entirely my fault, and I have to deal with the consequences. The consequences are that I have to make the journey pretty much all the way to the Bed of Chaos in order to get what I'm looking for. It's very annoying. I don't really need to be running on there. The reason why you shouldn't run on the lava when you don't need to is because it deals damage to your armor as you run. So, even if you've got the lava ring, and you've got a whole lot of health, avoid the lava when you can. 'Tis my recommendation. This stuff is really bright, isn't it? Here we are in Lost Izalith again. We will have to contend with the Titanite demon. What are they called? The Prowling demon. Everyone calls them Titanite demons. They're actually called Prowling demons. It would have just made more sense to call them Titanite demons because they've actually got Titanite on their neck stubs. And they give you demon Titanite. So... I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just go with the obvious name, but that's fine. Prowling demons it shall be. Just running up this way to not be walking in the lava the entire time. Actually destroyed that. No, you fucking don't. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine? I couldn't. I couldn't quite imagine it. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't know why they didn't make this a bonfire you could warp to. Perhaps they did in the remastered version. I'd suggest that they would have done that in the remastered version, without actually having personal knowledge of that. But I will be back momentarily. Just need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, things were getting quite dicey there, AJ. If I had died there, I would have been really unimpressed. I would have taken it on the chin. I wouldn't have started losing my shit, but... Wow. Fortunately, things did not turn out that way. Thank God for that. I don't like where my microphone is right now. Let me just shift that. Alright. Happier with that. Happier with that. So again, the direction that we're going in is going to cause us to confront and fight a prowling demon. And here we are in Cambodia. Here we are. Whoa. Weapon of the Titanite demons is actually written in the description of the Titanite catchpole. I don't know where it comes from either. I bet that there were conflicting ideas as to what the enemy should be called. It was probably originally Prowling Demon, and then ultimately that is the correct name. But during the development of the game, I'm sure they probably just asked themselves, well, doesn't it just make sense to call it the Titanite Demon? Another point to make would be that whoever wrote the description of the Titanite catchpole was being lazy and assumed that they were called Titanite demons. Because remember, you know, the production of a game is going to involve lots of separate people. And you can imagine whoever is writing the descriptions of the weapons is, you know, it could be someone fairly lower level within the development process. So maybe they didn't do their due diligence and actually make sure that it wasn't called a Titanite demon. The reality is that it wasn't. But who are they to know if they don't actually verify it themselves? Yeah, Titanite may have been called Prowler Stones. Yep. Excellent. Probably a good thing they changed the name, really. Just to be clear, this is the strongest of all the prowling demons in the game. And this one is the only one that respawns. So for those who have experience in using lots of demon weapons, or perhaps makes lots of weapons in general, you will have lots of experience in grinding this exact Titanite demon. One of the benefits to having so little health is that my Estus Flask feels more like a divine blessing than a fucking Estus Flask right now. That was one thing that was patched out. Remember when I was talking about the things that were patched out? Remember people used to really abuse divine blessings in the earlier version of Dark Souls? So like you would be... It's incredible, just the fucking... I said it before, the landscape of PvP when Dark Souls came out was truly just pathetic and out of balance to the extreme. But yeah, people used to... I don't know if it was an exploit or actually part of the game, but people were able to get a hold of so many divine blessings, it was ridiculous. And they were just popping divine blessings while you were trying to fight them. It was really difficult to deal with people like that. So if you want to imagine the worst thing possible, imagine like a twink character that's used the bottomless box glitch, is using Iron Flesh, Eagle Shield, Tranquil Walk of Peace. Am I going the wrong way? I sure am. Tranquil Walk of Peace, Divine Blessings, Darkwood Grain Ring. What else is there? Anyway, it was bad. It was really bad. Those were dark days. And let's not forget the Dragon Head glitch. You know, I'm I freely admit I come from a time where I learnt how to run to Ash Lake at the beginning of the game. Because, you know, Dragon Head glitch. I will freely admit that I am part of that cohort. The one with the glowing eyes is the one that gives you the sunlight maggot, by the way. The others just have a chance of giving you sunlight medals. So yeah, this is where you get your sunlight medals if you are playing offline. Which, to be honest, is me. Come on. Well, to be honest, they're not really attacking me, and I don't need sunlight medals, so maybe I'll just leave them alone. Might be a good plan. Alright. So remember, this is all so that we can get our bloodstain. Get back to our bloodstain. Alright. Everything is just a little bit slower when I'm at medium weight. But I'm putting up with it. The thing about the Dragon Head is that it's fun to use in the early game anyway. What I found is that even after the glitch was patched out, it was fun to just go through the Undead Berg breathing fire on people. Unfortunately, the Dragon Head is not that good past the early game. It's mainly due to the stamina consumption. The stamina consumption is extreme, so it's not really recommended, but I'll probably do a build at some point. I remember doing a build back in, I think it may have been 2012 that I recorded, where I did the Dragon Head for fun. And, yeah, just breathing fire on the Undead Berg Dreglings. It's good stuff. Whoa, what are you doing up here? I don't really want to see you ever. Much less at that sort of close proximity to me. You're saying this guy did the Dragon Head glitch because he couldn't beat the Bed of Chaos? I don't think that's like an appropriate use of the Dragon Head glitch, in that the Bed of Chaos is one of those bosses which is more procedural. Like it's about how you go through the different stages. I mean, what, did he just need a shitload of defense? He wanted a situation where he could just get hit by the Bed of Chaos a million times. Is that what he was going for? Bloody hell. Alright, time for the sunlight maggot. Much more convenient than the skull lantern. So, consequently, I always do Lost Izalith before the Tomb of the Giants, which is fine. I can live with that. It's not really a difficult location, in my opinion. The only thing that's difficult about it is the Bed of Chaos, but honestly, if you're at the point of the game where you can access the Bed of Chaos, in my opinion, if you're doing your build correctly, you should have enough defense to deal with the boss. I didn't really have ideal defense because I was being very lazy with my armor. I would have made a better armor set before that point if I didn't have such a late game armor set that I was using for my build, just to be very clear. So, we're here, but that doesn't mean that we're going to do this boss right now. What I'm going to do is attempt Artorias, and then do some grinding of Twinkling Titanite and Titanite chunks. Sounds like fun, right? You know what I'm going to do, because I never do it? I never do it, and I don't think I have a single recording on my channel of Dark Souls where I've talked to the mushroom. Let's talk to the mushroom lady.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed. Not intolerable.
I don't know why a mushroom is sniffing me. Yes.
Thank you.
Elizabeth. She's the one who gives you all of these crazy magic spells. This was so much fun. I remember when this DLC came out, this shit was so much fun. Hidden Body, Chameleon, oh my god. For those of you who are familiar with the Soul series, just think of how much joy has been experienced using the chameleon magic. Well, this is where it first appeared, right here, in the Prepare to Die edition of Dark Souls. Hidden Weapon is a lot of fun too. I used to use it with the washing pole, because people would think you had, I don't know, some sort of regular straight sword, but then you're actually swinging and hitting them from quite a distance. The washing pole had some serious reach. Yeah, Hidden Weapon was a bit of fun. Not as useful as Hidden Body for fairly obvious reasons, but yeah. Use Hidden Body and Hidden Weapon. Good stuff. Repair as a magic spell. That's pretty good. Not something I'm going to be able to use, but...
May the flames guide thee.
Thank you. Female mushroom. Alright. I think we need more humanity than this. I remember consuming 20 humanities, that's why I only ended up with 12. Alright. Helm of Thorns. No, I must conduct reverse hollowing first. Yeah, a little detail that, now that I think about it, some people may not know. It's really obvious to me, but I just realized that people who are not up on the history of Dark Souls may not know this. But the PC version came out with the DLC preloaded. You know, it was called the Prepare to Die edition. I'm sure I've got this shit here. So, that's what the game looked like originally. You know, Dark Souls. That's it. On PC, it was the Prepare to Die edition. So, there was no standard version, and that's because the PC version came out with, like, at the same time as the DLC. So this was the only version of the game that had the DLC preloaded. I think so. That may not be true. It's possible that the Prepare to Die edition came out on consoles as well, like as a preloaded disc already with the DLC, but I don't remember it. I only remember this, and then you would buy the DLC through Xbox Live or PSN. So, yeah, as for this, obviously games for Windows Live, Jesus Christ. If you want to know misery, playing Dark Souls before DS Fix on games for Windows Live, yeah, I experienced it. It wasn't good. Not very much, just to be clear, because all of my save files were on PS3, so I didn't really put much time into the PC version. The main reason why I bought this, actually, was due to a significant obsession with the Soul series at the time. Well, I should rephrase that to say just Demon Souls and Dark Souls. So good that my recording setup has like my drawer full of games right next to me. But yeah, there is no version of the PC game, the PC version of Dark Souls that doesn't have the DLC. I guess is the point that I'm making. I think Artorias has become sort of the flagship of the first Dark Souls game. But he didn't exist when the game came out. Not for the first year or so. Year to a year and a half. My memory tells me that it was a little bit less than a year. I think the game came out, was it September? August or September of 2011, I think, Dark Souls came out. And then I think the Prepare to Die edition came out around July of 2012. I don't know why I'm remembering that. If I'm completely wrong, then that's fine, but yeah. I seem to remember that that was roughly how it worked. I think I'm correct in saying that it was less than a year. It was like 10 months or something. I seem to remember having conversations with people in late 2011 and early 2012 about actually, do you know what? I'm not even gonna explain that. Arguments with people about, so, you know, think about 2011 for a second. You know, what was the huge game of 2011? It was Skyrim. Skyrim was huge. And as much as I enjoyed Skyrim, I would tell people, oh, you know, I think Dark Souls is a much better game. And then, you know, the reality is no one really knew what Dark Souls was at that time. Dark Souls was much bigger than Demon Souls, but it was still a bit of a niche. And so I would explain to people, yeah, Dark Souls is really good, much better than the Elder Scrolls series, in my opinion. And people couldn't really get their head around that. And they would say truly ridiculous things like, oh, Dark Souls just copied Skyrim, you know, Skyrim is the RPG that everyone wants to be, and I'm like, well, no, this is based on something completely different, and quite frankly, this came out before Skyrim as well, so, yeah, like, these were the conversations that I was having, and I think my memory of precisely when Dark Souls came out probably is related to those conversations that I had with people back in 2011 and 2012. I'm not, like, as ridiculous and unintelligent as those discussions sound. Well, that's that's just how it was back then, unfortunately. Apparently there is a PS3 version of the Prepare to Die edition. And it looks like, according to AJ, the Prepare to Die edition was released on PS4 and Xbox One. I was not aware of that. That is information I was completely unaware of. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Yeah, so Scholar of the First Sin, AJ, I don't know if this is PS3 specific, but that's exactly what it was. So Scholar of the First Sin was the name of the DLC. The reason why I'm not sure if this is specific to the PS3 version is because I only played the PS3 version of Dark Souls 2 back then. Seeing as I'm showcasing things. I pre-ordered Dark Souls 2, got the Black Armor edition. So, you're dead right. Basically, the DLC came out and it was called Scholar of the First Sin. That was the name of the DLC. And then they released a game called Scholar of the First Sin that had the DLC preloaded, but in addition to that, they changed all of the enemy placements as well as other things. So I always had a gripe not with the DLC itself, but with the game that came with the DLC preloaded. That's the idea. Could you imagine? And this is really what it was. When you say PS3, it makes me think, what, was it not on Xbox? But imagine Dark Souls had the Prepare to Die edition, but the game that came with the DLC preloaded was actually different from the original Dark Souls. That's what happened with Dark Souls 2. I don't know why they did it. I've got no clue. They were just being revisionist, I think. I think that's what it was. It was revisionism. And for no good reason. It was just, in my opinion, completely ridiculous. But anyway. Perhaps the confusion is that... No, the PC version does have the DLC as well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The original PC version of Dark Souls 2 does have the DLC, but what is it called? I bet it's called Scholar of the First Sin. I'm going to check it right now. Dark Souls 2, what's the DLC called? It's called Crown of the Old Iron King, Crown of the Ivory King, Crown of the Sunken King. Okay. That's not how it was on the PS3. You're right. It's a PS3 specific abnormality, and I took it for granted because I played the PS3 version, so it seemed pretty normal to me. Okay, what am I doing? I'm making sure that I can fast roll. I don't really need the shield. Come on, there we go. Alright, I've got 15 Estus flasks. I really should have gone to 20, but I'm settling for 15. Let's see what we can do. I'm sure we'll be okay. I'm skipping the cutscene because I'm terrible like that. Would have been good if I at least got an attack out that made contact, wouldn't you say? Only barely prevented him from going into his stronger mode. Oh, he caught me there. Look at that. Smooth. Those moments when you wish you had the washing pole. It's funny to see the damage numbers come up when I roll through him like that. I have to be aware of my health right now. It's not good. He's catching me with that attack. And I understand why. Ooh, I almost got killed there. That was almost a failed fight. Wouldn't have been good. I'm just healing to max just to make sure. He ended up dealing the same amount of damage to me as what I had healed, but fine. Good night. Yeah, it's first try because I'm pretty used to the fight. And also, once I'm fast rolling with a two-handed weapon, it's every fight is about 10 times easier when you're not shield reliant. It's just a fact of the Soul series, because when you're shield reliant, you can get stuck in a trap. So, you know, you end up in a situation where you're getting pummeled. You're losing stamina. You can't evade, and yeah, it's not ideal. Anyway, I'll be back in a moment. Just need to visit the bathroom once again. That's what happens when you're drinking beer. But yeah, just to finish the point that I was making before, I find it much easier to deal with bosses when you've got the mobility. It just... Having a really, really insanely good guarding setup, with very high defense and very high poise, can at times be just as good as mobility. But very rarely will you have a loadout that is that robust when it comes to guarding attacks. Very often you're going to be sitting in a middle ground where you've got, you know, medium rolling, medium shield but good stability. But that's never going to be as good as just fast rolling. So, you know, very often it is much better to just forego defense in favor of mobility and two-handed attacking. It's the way I approach a lot of bosses. And the bosses where I choose to just pig-headedly not do that usually result in bad performance on my part. Alright. Let's do a bit of farming. Actually, I should have gotten another beer while I was tending to my biological needs. I'll go and get that beer now. Never mind. It's that sad moment where you look in the fridge and there isn't another one. Very well. Again, I won't actually be proceeding through the DLC until I clear the Tomb of the Giants. But before we even go there, to the Tomb of the Giants, I will be doing a little bit of grinding, but not much. We'll go to the Crystal Cave first. Just get a little bit more Twinkling Titanite for our armor. In fact, did I end up upgrading using that Twinkling Titanite? I hadn't done so. That's fine. Gold Serpent Ring. We established that combustion is really good for these clams. But only 8 great combustions isn't really going to be enough to deal with all of them. The reason why great combustion is so good is because it heavily flinches them. But you need to sort of chain it. If you don't chain it, it's not really going to work. For people who want to grind Twinkling Titanite from clams in the early game, you can just go to Ash Lake. I would recommend Ash Lake for that. Just keep in mind that the clams can be quite challenging. I probably would say mid-game. I would say by the time you clear Anor Londo, you are in late game. So if you haven't cleared Anor Londo yet and you're really desperate for some Twinkling Titanite, go to Ash Lake. But otherwise, kill the clams here. I am enjoying using my pyromancies on you guys. Alright, that should kill him. There we go. Good example of how the lava works. And we'll homeward bone back. I think we've got about 2 Twinkling Titanite there, maybe 3. I remember having the same conversation last time. Was it 2 or was it 3? Seriously. Pay more attention. Yes, so the reason why I'm doing a Dex and... So let me tell you the full story of why I'm making this build. So I did a pyromancy build long time ago, probably with the intention in this PC version of getting the achievement for all pyromancies. But I had made a stupid mistake with that build, because by that point I'd forgotten that actually your intelligence is not going to affect your pyromancy flame in any meaningful way. It doesn't affect your magic adjust, it doesn't affect the amount of damage you're going to do with your pyromancies. It's only going to affect, like for example, the punching power of your actual pyromancy flame when you hit enemies with it. So that's the confusing thing about having the scaling there. You've got a B scaling, but that does not actually affect anything. So what I had done was I had made an intelligence pyromancy build without there being any benefit associated with having done so. So what I did was I decided I'd make a new build, and I'm doing it on camera. So the reason why I chose a dexterity pyromancy build was because if you're going to actually have a stat that you focus on to benefit pyromancy, it would be dexterity, because of the casting speed that you're mentioning now. So yeah, intimately familiar with that. And that's the reason why I was talking about the conundrum that I experience, you know. The idea of all dexterity builds reasonably benefiting from using pyromancy. Oh, if you had done the follow-up there, that would have killed me. That would have killed me. But yeah, that's the background to the recording of this particular build. This would have been a build that I would have worked on in my own time. but I saw an opportunity to actually record the original PC version here. One of the difficult things about the original PC version, and possibly the remastered version as well, I need to double check those, but I do have a limited number of characters that I can make here, and I do play Dark Souls in my own time, so I do have builds that are not related to a recording series. What this translates to is an inability for me to have all of my builds that I do recordings for take place on the original PC version. But given that I was remaking the Pyromancy build that I had on the original PC version, that was an opportunity for me to record this game. So that was good. Look how quick combustion is then, that's really nice. Hello, Jose. Stream's going pretty good. It feels pretty productive, getting a lot done. So far on this stream, I have cleared 2 bosses in the DLC, the Sanctuary Guardian and Artorias. What else have I done? I've reached the Tomb of the Giants bonfire. That's going to kill me. Very good. That tends to be the most damaging and dangerous thing. It sounded like I added a T in there. The most dangerous thing that fucking clamp can do is the double. I don't even know how to describe that. Body slam? Body swing? That 2-fold attack. It's not good. Not good at all. The reason why, of course, is because A, deals a whole load of damage, and B, incredible poise damage. How are we going at the moment? 14 Twinkling Titanite, not too bad. What I'm going to do is I'll finish this round and then do one more round after that. That should kill him. Goodbye. No, you don't. I know that you were gearing up to eat me there. But fortunately, my great combustion does flinch you very heavily. I do need to get the Black Knight shield, but I might have to wait until the kiln of the first flame for that. No, you don't. Do not eat me, sir. Alright. One more round. This is good for souls as well. I've got 114,000 souls at the moment. Admittedly, I didn't use my souls from Artorias at all, so could have done that. But that's fine. It'll just be Vitality that I'm upgrading anyway. Because Vitality needs some attention. I actually don't know what move from World you're talking about, Hossein, but I mean, I'm guessing you mean this attack, but can't really think of the move you mean. I could have used them to upgrade my egg. What am I thinking? Yeah, I could have, instead of leveling up with these souls, I could have just had my egg consume these fucking souls. Yeah. Honestly. I'll apologize to my egg for starving it of souls. I don't know how you completely evaded that attack, but I'm displeased. What I'm also displeased by is how little damage I'm dealing with this weapon. It must be about to break. What are we looking at? We're looking at 57 out of 80. Well, don't you think that's less damage than it was before? Maybe I'm going crazy. It looks like less. Alright. I'm not going to use a homeward bone for this one. I'm just going to run back. Down to 40 homeward bones now. Whatever shall I do? It's just not enough. 40 homeward bones. No. I will not countenance such a dearth of homeward bones on my person. Alright, let's not leave. The other thing that starts with L. Level up. Alright, 25 vitality. Bloody hell. So, what are we sitting at? 19 Twinkling Titanite. It's not going to be quite enough to fully upgrade our armor set, but it'll be significant. AJ, they don't have a protective shell. It sounded as if he had blocked my attack there, but he didn't, I just missed. That's all that happened. They don't have a blocking attack. All he was doing there was gearing up to thrust into me. That's all he was doing. He wasn't actually blocking an attack or anything. What am I doing? Reinforcing armor. Get you to +5. We'll do leggings next. Cool. We are a damn sight better than we were in terms of defense, I would assume. We are sitting at 278. That is not as much of an increase as I was expecting. Weren't we knocking on the door to 300 defense before I had done these upgrades? I don't get it. Anyway, something must have become better. Something must have improved. 40, 69. Very good. Alright. Next we're going to do 2 rounds of grinding of the Dark Wraiths. No more than 2. I don't have time. Got things to do today, you know? Resting at this bonfire to make sure that when I homeward bone I'm actually returning to this bonfire, not a different one. But yeah, what I've done quite kindly is save the grinding for the end of the recording instead of throwing you all into it at the start. I think that was the right way to approach it. Definitely the right way. I shouldn't forget also that I really should be getting more weapons. I do plan to build this character quite a lot before I go into New Game Plus. That tends to be how I do it. I don't just use New Game Plus as an opportunity to grow beyond, say, 2 weapons. Like, I'm definitely usually going to have more than 2 weapons to use on a build before I go into New Game Plus. Comfortably one-shotting on the riposte. We are still at max item discovery, which is what we want. Actually, no, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you later. Hello. Nothing from you. I'm about the same color as the Dark Wraiths, actually. Pretty much the exact same shade of grey. I still got that giant slime prick to deal with. Have to be quick with that. Again, the riposte gives you invincibility, which is what you want. Particularly when you're dealing with other dark wraiths and ghosts all at the same time. Alright. I will use a transient curse. I'm assuming that you're fairly vulnerable to fire, although it didn't do a huge percentage of your health. Alright, you guys are immediately out of my face. Out of my hair. You are also dead. We've still got an exploding skull over here. And I think there is a Titanite chunk in this chest. The reason why I haven't opened it is because I was making my way towards the boss when I originally came through here, and I just didn't have the time to go opening chests, even killing enemies. Things like killing enemies was quite frankly beyond the pale at that point. Alright. No, we want to go this way. I think there's a dark wraith down here. I feel like the drops could be better. Oh yeah, there's 6 cracked red eye orbs up there if you really want them. I don't. What am I going to do with them? Pretend like I'm invading people? I'm playing offline. Apparently if you get cursed, you can hit the ghosts without needing transient curse. Now that is information I didn't know. That's pretty cool. All the little fun facts that exist in this game. It's incredible. I thought the only way to hit them was to use the Ghost Blade or Transient Curse. Didn't realize that if you were actually cursed. It makes sense though, because what's Transient Curse? You are essentially cursing yourself intentionally, as per the name. Fascinating. Are you guys seeing this? I'm not really getting any drops at all. It's very disappointing. I'm not quite the same shade of grey, am I? I've got a bit more of a purple tint to my armor as compared to them. Alright, one more. You are the final one, sir. Oh, the cursed Artorias sword. Yeah, okay, apparently anything that has the word curse in it. Because, yeah, I think it's called the cursed Artorias sword. Because you've got 3 different ones. You've got the real one, the fake one, and the Abyss Greatsword. Or the Abyss Lord Greatsword, whatever it's called. So yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that that was going to work against the ghosts. I never would have assumed that the game would be quite so literal. But there you have it. It's an interesting bit of trivia, but I'm never going to have a reason to have a special weapon to kill the ghosts, in my opinion. Like, transient curses can be consumed without inconvenience, and they can be acquired in fairly large quantities, either purchased or picked up in the world, so why do I need a special weapon? On the other hand, there may be a benefit to, for example, using a blessed weapon. Sorry, a divine weapon. Same shit. If you have a divine weapon, you don't have to worry about killing necromancers in order to permanently slay skeletons. There's a benefit to that. I think that's much more tangible and material than having something that kills ghosts. Because I find it much more inconvenient to kill a necromancer than it is to just use a consumable, but that's just me. No, I don't think the names are the same. I don't think the names are the same, AJ. I'm pretty sure there is a cursed, unless it's always appeared online as cursed. But maybe in-game it appears as the same. But I don't think that there's a... I don't know. I've never made the cursed Sword of Artorias, so... I can't say that for certain. I'm pretty sure the Cursed Greatsword of Artorias has different stats. Because I made a conscious effort... Because I'm using a build that is a Faith, Intelligence, Dexterity build. With a high soul level that actually makes use of the scalings of the Greatsword of Artorias. And I remember looking in the past to see which one would be more appropriate, and they were different. They weren't the same weapon. Just one of them worked against ghosts. Oh, fuck off. Go away. Oh, I missed the parry though. Has to happen eventually. I'm left quite disappointed by the drop rates. I've only got 3. I'm on round 2, and I've only had 3 up until this point. Pretty lackluster. This is with maximum item discovery. It does vary a bit. Sometimes you get really good results, really high yield, and then other times you don't get shit. Alright, I'll trust you that the names are the same, but at this stage I don't agree that the stats are the same. Because that's what you wrote initially, you said. I don't think the name is different, but its stats are. Perhaps you meant the opposite to what you wrote. Whoops. Alright. There was actually a Dark Wraith that I forgot. It was the one behind the illusory wall. Thank you. Fucking hell. I feel like I'm drawing blood from a stone here. I'm not getting many of these Titanite chunks. It's worse than usual, I think. It's worse than usual. Alright, last one. And then that'll be it. We're on 5 Titanite chunks. 6. Very good. I will use these to upgrade my shuttle. And then that will conclude the recording. Make our way to the Undead Parish and speak to Mr. Andre of Astora. Yeah, the phrase drawing blood from a stone basically means almost impossible to get anything. So it's often used in a situation where you're trying to get something out of someone, like whether it be a favor or something like that. Alright. Whether or not I use the Titanite slab that I get for free in the DLC on that shuttle remains to be seen. We'll find out. We'll find out. I don't think I'll do it. I like the shuttle, but not that much. Not that much. That's going to be it for this live stream. I do thank you all for watching. I think that was pretty good. I got a lot done. And I feel satisfied. I will see you all next time I'm recording, and I bid you all farewell for now. Bye-bye.